Hey, good evening. It's Thursday, April the 11th. And thank you so much for being here and welcome back to Everyday Talk 24/7. Can continue to answer some of the great questions from Q&A Friday, and they actually think they do pertain to the things we face every day. This question is from Sandra. I see quite a bit on social media about preparing food, water, and other items to be prepared for in case of catastrophe. Can you address how Christians are to respond and what the Bible has to say about this? I know we are not to fear, but how do we prepare without showing fear? Sandra, that's a great question. And the thumbnail tonight that shows the title with an emergency checklist, Are You Prepared? And that's what people are trying to get us to be prepared. We're not sure what. It could be a natural disaster. It could be any number of things. But if we could get so obsessed with preparing and protecting ourselves that we lose sight of who's in control. When the pandemic was at its beginning, my publisher, Shepherd Press, asked me to write a little book, and it's this book, When Life Turns Upside Down. And it's about addressing these unexpected things that happen when things get kind of turned upside down on us. God is actually in control of these things. And really, this preparation question comes down to who controls tomorrow? Who is it that is in control of tomorrow? Jesus wants us to understand that God is in control of tomorrow. Yes, you're supposed to be responsible. I'm supposed to be responsible. But I can't get into a checklist of all the things you can do or not do to be prepared. That depends upon where you live, what your situation is. And there's certain things that we can't be prepared for. Things like 9/11. Things like the tsunami of 2004 where 250,000 people were killed. Things that we weren't in any way, shape, prepared for. But God wants us to know that He's in control of tomorrow. And so much of the media pressure, the social media stuff is all about, no, you've got to take control of it because you're about to be prepared for tomorrow. That's simply not true. Jesus warns us in the Gospels about trying to think that we're in control. And being obsessed with control of tomorrow basically means that we're not trusting God, because He's the one that controls tomorrow. In Luke, and I'm getting a reading from the book here, in Luke, Jesus says this, Luke 12:25-26. Can any of you add one moment to his lifespan by worrying? If then you're not able to do this one little thing, why do you worry about the rest? He's not saying being irresponsible. He's saying understand what you can control and what you can't control. So he says don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Trust God and be responsible today. Again, whether it was Pearl Harbor, whether it was in 1941, where life changed radically, whether it was 9/11, whatever these things are, they change in a heartbeat. But the question we need to ask about preparation, about being wise, who is it that controls tomorrow? I'm going to read just a short section here. Many would answer that there is no rational answer because all life is random. Nothing is predictable. Such thinking is debated in philosophy classrooms, but it is discounted by Christians and non-Christians alike who say everything happens for a reason. But of course, we want something more substantial than just a hopeful phrase when we're faced with something that can alter our life. So what is left? Well, Isaiah, 2,700 years ago, tells us this about can God be trusted? Familiar passage, but listen to chapter 40, verses 28-31. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the whole earth. He never becomes faint or weary. There is no limit to his understanding. He gives strength to the faint, strengthens the powerless. You see, that's the hope that we have when these unexpected upside-down things come. Things that we try and prepare for, we can't. He gives strength to the faint and strengthens the powerless. Youths become faint and weary, and young men stumble and fall. In other words, those who seem to be well equipped, they will stumble and fall. But those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not become weary. They will walk and not faint. That's the hope that we have. That's what God is doing for us. Yes, we can have our checklist that we can try and be ready, and that's all fine, as long as we understand, Sandra, that God is in control. Psalm 139 says this, and Isaiah knew these words when he wrote this passage in chapter 40. All my days were written in your book and planned before a single one of them began. Sandra, we face the uncertainty of tomorrow knowing that it's not uncertain with God, knowing that He is in control, knowing that we can trust Him, knowing that we can walk in His ways and be secure. Are you prepared for all the things that can happen? No, not necessarily. But are you prepared to trust God, to know that He is with us, and He is our help and shield, that He will be faithful to us? That's how we prepare. So again, give me feedback and thoughts. I'd love to hear your interaction with this. And again, you can get it on Amazon or Shepherd Press, When Life Turns Upside Down. If you read that, give me some feedback on that too. I'd love to hear it. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow on Friday. Just such a joy to interaction, have these opportunities to talk about things that really matter. You have a great evening. Thank you for watching. May God richly bless you as you seek to live for His glory.